I'll stand in the grass.
Yeah, well, I know it's not the best right there, but
it's
it
all
makes me a
good.
little taller now.
I like it, man.
All set? Come on in, guys.
Get a little crowded,
All right.
Come on in.
Good afternoon, everyone. We have a beautiful day today to make some history here in the Bronx. In politics, it's very hard to shock people, even harder to excite them. But today I'm proud to announce my support for someone for mayor who has really done both. And that is Andrew Yang right here. So I want to give him a round of applause and thank you so much for coming out here today, Andrew. Since announcing his candidacy 4 months ago, Andrew has both shocked the political establishment, excited everyday New Yorkers, and frankly frustrated his competition in the media. But in 2 months, he would do something else. Be elected the Democratic nominee for mayor and reshape the political system as we know it. And it's clear to me, albeit perplexing to some, why. It's because he's a clean break from the status quo, a visionary, unbound by the dysfunctional bureaucratic system. Sorry, it's too tight here. And political gamesmanship that has entangled city government for decades. And that's a compelling proposition to me and countless New Yorkers like those I represent here in the Bronx. Constituents who come in my office every day in desperate need of help simply to navigate the complex and confusing government bureaucracy that limits their access to affordable housing, benefits, and health care. The son of immigrants, an entrepreneur, and lawyer, Andrew did what he was supposed to. Sorry about that. I'll start that from here. Andrew did what he was supposed to do. He got a good education, built a business, started a family, and devoted himself to reaching back out and uplifting those for whom the American dream seems like just that, a dream. So if at times his ideas or his style or his background seem unorthodox, it's because sometimes you have to think outside the box to move forward. Andrew Yang offers a positive, innovative way forward for my constituents and all New Yorkers who look to government for something more than outdated systems, outdated policies, and outdated vision. When Andrew and I toured my district a couple months ago, we did more than just eat a chopped cheese at a local bodega. We talked about his plans for the city, and I was honestly struck by his openness and his collaborative spirit. I remember us talking in the bodega and just sharing stories of, me growing up as a teen in New York City and the issues that faced me. And we bounced ideas back and forth, and he was quick to text and email his team to say, this is an idea we can get ahead of. This is something we can really change. And he really meant that. It was something that he said, this is tangible and we want to fix it for the 8.5 million people that live here in this city. So I thought that was exceptional in someone who wants to lead this city. And that's why we're here today with young people, with community advocates, not simply for a political endorsement, but to introduce our ambitious and collaborative plan to reinvest in our youth and expand the Summer Youth Employment Program, otherwise known as SYEP, in our city. It goes without saying that SYEP is the largest youth employment program of its kind and has changed the lives of countless low-income New Yorkers, black and brown young people for decades by exposing us to professional environments, work experience, and responsibility. Last year, the program was gutted by pandemic-related budget cuts, and so many young people missed an invaluable opportunity that for me and others laid a path for success in the future. If elected mayor, Andrew has committed to me and our city's youth not just to bring back SYEP, but to more than double it from 75,000 pre-pandemic to 175,000 young people over his first 4 years. This would more than accommodate peak applicant levels and eliminate the need for the lottery. Basically, if a young person in a household earning $31,000 or less wants a summer job, the city will provide one. See, this is why I'm supporting Andrew Yang for mayor. We worked together on this plan. We thought of creative solutions. And we developed an ambitious way forward for the youth in our city. We need that kind of leadership in every aspect of city government, and I believe Andrew offers that. So we want a clean break from the past, visionary leadership in City Hall. groundbreaking policies for everyday New Yorkers like you and me, and to leave a legacy for our families, our kids, and our grandkids, then I need all of you, not just to go out and vote for Andrew Yang. I need you all to bring out everyone you know, from your block, to your building, to your community groups, to your houses of worship, to every single organization on June 22nd, and vote for the next mayor of New York City, Andrew Yang.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Please, come up.
Incredible.
Thank you.
You look even better with the mask off, brother.
Let me get my mask on again, sorry.
Of course. Thank you, Kenny. Hello, New York City. I am so honored to have Kenny's endorsement, and you can see why. I mean, this man is the future. So young, he's already accomplished so much, and yet he has so much work ahead of him. Between him and Congressman Richie Torres, we are building a multi-ethnic, multiracial coalition to help push New York City in a better direction, to move us forward. I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience as a young person with summer jobs, and like Kenny touched on it himself. We're going to hear from a couple of young people who've actually benefited from summer jobs. But if I ask anyone here today to talk about your summer jobs as a young person, you remember them well, do you not? Yeah, you do. Like, they really have a massive impact on you. My first job was as a busboy at a Chinese restaurant. And I was a busboy because my Chinese was too weak to translate orders into writing for the kitchen staff. So I was a busboy. I was also a knife salesman. I was a file clerk. I was eventually, and this is only when I got older, I became a camp counselor, which I have to say is one of the best jobs you can have. So if you have an opportunity to become a camp counselor, some of the people behind me, you should definitely take it. But we all remember our summer jobs. But there are too many young people here in New York City who want that kind of experience and opportunity but don't have it. And Kenny just pointed out what happened this past summer, and some of it was obviously because of COVID and there were some operating realities. But you had ordinarily, the Summer Youth Employment Program had 75,000 young people put into position to work. And this past year, it was first completely gutted, and then when it was brought back at a fraction of its size. Some of it was virtual. Now, New York City is on the road to recovery, but one piece of our recovery is going to be engaging our young people and putting them to work in opportunities that will allow them to develop. Now, Kenny referenced the fact that ordinarily there's a lottery where you have maybe 150,000 young people applying for 75,000 jobs. And imagine being a family in that situation where your kid's applying and there's like a 50-50 chance whether you get that job. It's very hard to plan under those circumstances. It's also been difficult for employers to plan because in some cases the city has said, hey, we think we might have someone for you, but we're not quite sure. As someone who's run organizations, you kind of want to know what's coming. And it's going to be much more productive for a young person if, frankly, the organization has already laid some groundwork and knows what they're going to be doing and has a plan for each individual person, because sometimes they'll be employing multiple people. So here is our plan and our commitment. And I was so thrilled to formulate this plan with Kenny. We're not just going to go back to the 75,000 level where Summer Youth Employment Program. We're going to increase it by 25,000 each year. And so by the end of my first term, we'll have 175,000 young people engaged through the Summer Youth Employment Program. This will eliminate the need for the lottery. And you can already see this happening. You can imagine this, where families are going to be applying. And then if you have, let's call it 150 to 175,000 applicants, the odds will go up each year as we expand the capacity of the program. So instead of a 50-50 shot, then it'll be like a 60, 70, 80. Then eventually it will be that any child or young person that wants a job is going to be able to find one through the Summer Youth Employment Program. Imagine being able to rely upon that. And the reality is that the income generated from these summer jobs is really meaningful to a lot of these families. Like, imagine knowing that your child is not only going to have a job during the summer, but also you can actually start knowing that he or she is going to bring some money home for the family, and also going to start learning about their own personal budget. As a young person, and you all remember this too, you only start to figure out how to manage money when you actually have some in your pocket. Like, you're all nodding, you remember that. I remember walking out of that Chinese restaurant with like a bit of money, like maybe I got paid $60 or $70 for like the night's work. And it felt like so much. Like I walked out with that $60 or $70 in cash and was like, oh my gosh. Like that's when a young person starts figuring out how to save, what to spend money on. You can't teach a young person those lessons if it's not real, if they don't have that money in their pocket. So we're going to expand the capacity of the Summer Youth Employment Program by 25,000 each year. And I know we can do that because it's already been happening, but at a lower level. It's been growing by 8,000 a year, and that's not enough. You can't be turning away families that, in my mind, everyone knows this is a win for the young people, but it's also a win for these organizations and for the city. Oh, we also need to try to expand this beyond the summer in at least two ways. The first thing is you need administrative support throughout the year so that organizations know what to expect and that schools and families have some visibility into what the process is going to be so that there isn't this uncertainty that frankly discourages a lot of both families and employers. But the other way you need to expand it year-round is that I think many young people would like to have some level of employment even during the school year. There have been any number of young people that have come to me and said, look, my job, even if it's something as accessible as helping at the local grocery store, was a game changer for me. And there's a program that the city has been supporting this last number of years called Work, Learn, Grow that supported about 5,000 opportunities for high school students during the school year. And I think all of us can hear that and say 5,000 is not enough. We are going to quintuple the number of young people who have jobs during the school year that are supported by Work, Learn, Grow to 25,000 during my administration. So 175,000 summer jobs, 25,000 year-round jobs, and these are going to be transformative for many of these young people because you learn certainly the tasks that you're doing day to day, but you also learn how to work with people, how to work with customers, how to save money. Just having a structure and a schedule and a degree of responsibility, that's what we want our young people to have. I still remember being a busboy to this day. I can tell you some more busboy stories, but it's one reason why I tip well, because I know how hard the work is. Now, as we expand these programs, we also are going to be measuring the success. Like, I think we all instinctively know that this is going to pay off for people, for families, and for the city. But, I'm a numbers guy, and so we're going to demonstrate the success of the program and its impact on the trajectory of our young people over time so that we can even continue to invest. And when we think about the things that we should be investing city resources in, we should be investing in exactly this kind of program for our young people, for these opportunities. Because these are the opportunities that can help set our people up for success, as we're going to hear from some of the young people who are here today. I've said young people an awful lot. I don't know, young people's like, they're certainly not kids, some of the people behind me. So thrilled to champion this and so pumped to accept Kenny Burgos' endorsement. It is so meaningful to me. We're going to fight for the people of the Bronx and all of New York City. We're going to build a city that we can all be proud of together. Thank you, Kenny. Thank you, New York. Thank you all. Let's hear from some young people who've had their lives improved by the Summer Youth Employment Program. Thank you all.
Thank you, Andrew. And we're going to hear from some more folks right now, but I just really want to quickly follow up to what he said. We're here in Soundview, which is within the confines of the 15th Congressional District, more notoriously known as the poorest congressional district in America. Not a title that we like, not a title we're proud of, and not a title I like to even speak of often. But if we're going to talk about addressing the cycles of poverty, if we're going to talk about making real, tangible jobs and changing the lives of New Yorkers for years and decades to come, this is a policy, this is a program, this is money well spent that will put the city on a different path. This is unprecedented kind of investment into summer youth, into the youth, into jobs. So I really, really am excited to announce this program with Andrew. I truly believe this will be transformational, not just for my district, but for outer borough, for inner city, for low-income, marginalized youth and families throughout New York City. So I just wanted to add that piece. We're also going to hear from today, I want to bring up T-Rock, who is a youth who attends the Montefiore Community Center. So T-Rock, if you would come up, please.
The program has been a life changer for me. I think...
A little bit louder.
Oh, one step closer? Okay. Okay. This program has been... Yeah, I was about to say, I think, do we arch it up a little bit? Okay.
Yeah, we'll try to find
He's a lot taller now.
Nice. We'll try and in the direction. All right, you're all right.
I'm good? Great. Yes, this program has been great for me. I think an important thing is your first job is a setup for your second job, your third job, and so on. So I think getting that experience where, for me, I wanted to do impact in my community. So I was able to work at a center with young people, with children, where I was able to learn and understand how they work, how I need to work, and how I need to maneuver myself to ensure that their safety and what they need to learn in these programs are happening, and the same for me. So I think it's important for so many young people that are willing to work to get that opportunity for them to do something positive with their summer, to be in places doing constructive things for hours at a time. I think that's also very important, as well as being compensated. So that's how I feel about it. Thank you so much. T-Rock Seraphin. Oh, I'm 21 years old. It's T''ROCQUE. My last name is Seraphin, SERAPHIN. My first job was with summer youth. I was a counselor in a community center. And again, I was doing simple chores my first year. And I think the second year I was able to take more of a managerial role because it was the same community center. So I think I was able to progress and learn quite a bit with summer youth. Thank you so much.
Thank you, T-Rock.
Thanks so much, T-Rock. And we're also now going to hear from Danielle to also share her experience with summer youth. Danielle?
Hello, my name is Danielle Belingi. I'm 23 years old. My first summer job was not with SYEP. However, after I came back from college, I didn't really have that many employment opportunities, so I was able to enter the lottery for summer youth. And I missed my first round, but because they keep repeating your name, or they input your name again into the system after it's already drawn, I was able to get a job for the summer through summer youth. I'm very grateful for it. It was a great opportunity. I learned a lot. And through my summer youth employment with MMCC, I was able to acquire a job with MMCC, so I was very grateful for that. I do think that the lottery system is a little unfair because I've seen people who have entered the lottery and their names have never been picked. I've also seen people who, like me, my name was entered, I missed it, and then my name was drawn again. So, I feel like a little bit of that is kind of biased. But I do think it's a great opportunity for majority of the youth, especially young teenagers, because they don't really start looking for jobs until after college or until they're in college. A lot of people just rely on their parents' money, especially the youth. So I do think that it offers a learning curve, and I think that it gets them in the mindset to set themselves up for success later on in the future, rather sooner than later. So yeah, I haven't had a bad experience with summer youth employment. All my instructors have been great. So yeah, that's my experience.
Incredible.
Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you.
So we've heard two incredible stories of how SYEP has been influential in our city. I also want to bring up Stephanie Ramirez from Here to Here to share how this program will be influential from her view. Stephanie?
Thanks.
No problem.
Hi, everyone. My name is Stephanie Ramirez. I'm the Director of External Affairs at Here to Here. And Here to Here champions youth in the Bronx by bringing together students, educators, employers, and community leaders to build equitable avenues for family-sustaining careers. As a kid growing up in the Bronx, my first summer job was scooping ice cream at a local ice cream shop. And while I ultimately didn't grow up to own and run my own ice cream business, the skills I learned that summer, the value of good customer service, time management, working in a fast-paced environment, were invaluable skills I carry with me to this day. Every student should have the opportunity to have a summer job, to gain these skills and to prepare for their futures. As New York City emerges from COVID-19, now is the moment to rebuild an economy that is stronger than it was before, an equitable, thriving economy that includes young people of color and is powered by local talent that our city has been missing out on. Our economy is based on the assumption that we do a good job matching talent to opportunity. We don't. And the result is an economy that leaves out young Black and Latinx New Yorkers and wastes talent and resources. But imagine the city's potential if we prepared young people for meaningful careers and helped to meet the changing needs of employers. We can drive economic growth, reduce inequality, and create a vibrant economy that works for all New Yorkers. What do we need to do this? We need a talent development system that weaves education and employment, that recognizes we all share responsibility in preparing our young people for career success. And with this braided learning approach, students do real work in the real world and build on what they learn in class to further develop their skills, interests, and networks. Employers get to develop talent pipelines from underrepresented communities and help ensure that future employees have the skills needed to succeed in the workplace. And by connecting education and employment, we build on the city's assets, a diverse labor market with employers of all types, to more efficiently develop a robust, homegrown talent system, setting us up to better compete with other cities and states who are ahead of the curve on this. And we know it works. Work-based learning has been shown to empower students who go to college with a sense of direction about their future, give them real skills, and offer them opportunities to apply their activated skills and interests. Internships, not college majors, are more predictive of a student getting a job in a particular field. Expanding SYEP so that every public high school student has the option of a paid summer job that aligns with their skills and interests is a great first start. Investing in SYEP and other work-based learning experiences means investing in students, investing in employers, and investing in New York's economy. Now let's get to work. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. So that will conclude the press conference. I don't know if you want to take any questions.
It's going to be you and
Yep.
me, Kenny.
Yep. Pop on in.
Thanks, Kenny. Go ahead. What do you got to do? We'll switch places.
Go ahead, go ahead.
First team Melissa.
The budgetary commitment would be out of city resources. It would be approximately double the current expense, which is around 180 million, and so we'd be looking at roughly doubling that. There are some economies of scale that result, so it's not entirely one-to-one. Well, I'm glad that the mayor is focused on trying to make our people in our neighborhood safer. I haven't seen his plan in detail, but I think investing in violence interrupters and other programs is very positive. And I'd say that this event today speaks to what we need to do more of, which is create opportunities for young people during the summer, during the school year, invest in youth activities more broadly and generally, because we know that the more pursuits that people have with their community members in a center like the one that we're in front of, the more likely they are to be doing something wholesome and less likely to get into some kind of trouble. Well, I think we're getting overly caught up, frankly, in like levels of resources. We all know that there's a lot being spent right now. We have to try and channel it towards things that will actually make us safer and stronger. So it's a situation where there are certain things that we're not doing enough of, and certain things we could afford to cut back on. You know, what's interesting is I think if we got to 175,000, the demand might go up. So there might need to continue to be a lottery. It's just the lottery's odds would have improved dramatically. We're certainly going to need new organizations as part of SYEP, because it's not practical just to say to everyone, like, hey, like, you know, now the number of people you're going to on board is simply going up. But there are so many organizations I think that you know, would love to be able to take advantage of this with the city's partnership and support. So we're going to be expanding the number of organizations as well as expanding within organizations. Did I miss part of that, John?
How many would you need in order to have to build capacity for all those jobs? And again, like the city resources, that can come from the tax revenue?
Oh, so on the city resources side, I think most people sense that this is exactly where we should be investing, that this is going to put not just young people into positions where they're going to gain in experience and put them on a path to success, but is also going to put money right into the pockets of families, oftentimes that right now are having a hard time making ends meet. And we're in a position right now where we do have some operating flexibility for the next 2 years, thanks to the federal aid that's coming in. And this is exactly where we should be investing the city's money.
Assemblyman Burgos, he basically said the same conditions that I told Mayor de Blasio in December of 2016 exist in all of the NYCHA houses around it. Basically, some getting new cameras, but the conditions in the buildings where people had to wait 5 years for stoves and refrigerator replacements still exist. Now, Mayor de Blasio in November of 2016 answered it by saying, well, the federal government owes New York City NYCHA $18 billion. That number is now over $60 billion. There was a proposal for a Green New Deal. Are you in favor of that new Green Deal?
It was with Congressman Richie Torres that we announced our plan for NYCHA, which was a version of a Green New Deal, is somewhat different than the one that had been proposed. But we do need to push the federal government to be investing in NYCHA at a much higher level. You know, and we, I think, have a once-in-a-generation opportunity to get tens of billions of dollars from the federal government, in part because right now they're passing this multi-trillion-dollar infrastructure deal. Thank you again, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, for championing New York City at every turn. So I think we've got a great chance at actually solving some of the problems that have been plaguing NYCHA for years and even decades.
Because it was in the Obama administration that the federal government cut the funding to NYCHA. How are you going to get it back to where it should be? Fix up these NYCHA buildings.
No, last year when I was talking to Joe Biden, he said to me, we literally need to rebuild the country. And I agreed with him. And I think most New Yorkers would agree that if you're going to rebuild the country, NYCHA would be a fantastic place to start. New York City is unfortunately one of the worst landlords in New York City. And we owe our people better. We can do better. I do think this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. And I think the federal government's going to come through because it's in everyone's interests. We all know we need to modernize and make our infrastructure more sustainable. We know we need jobs. We know we need economic activity, and the federal government is going to be leading on this. I'm so glad that we got Chuck Schumer, the Senate. Can you imagine if Mitch McConnell was still in there saying no to everything? It would be a disaster for New York City. So we have a really great opportunity, and I want to take advantage of it.
Last question,
I mean, I would have gladly accepted the endorsement had I gotten it. I was glad to be included in their process. The fact is, I'm a public school parent. You know, like my child's in a school that benefits from the work that teachers are doing every day. And so, you know, like, I mean, I understand it went to Scott. No, I'm not sure many people are surprised by that, frankly. So, no, but we're excited about our campaign. I'm super excited to have Kenny's endorsement. I think it's immensely meaningful. You can sense the energy around this campaign. New Yorkers can tell that we need a different form of leadership and a different approach. That message is resonating loud and clear, I'm happy to say.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you all so much. Thank you for coming here to the Bronx. And thank you to Kenny Burgos. Yes! Kenny.
Appreciate it. All right,
Appreciate
boss.
you, man.
Thanks, man. This is